In January 2025, Chinese AI startup DeepSeek unveiled its latest LLM, DeepSeek R1. This open source model was recognized for its advanced reasoning, but also notably very efficient architecture. And its release led to significant financial market conditions, with major tech stocks experiencing substantial declines. For instance, Nvidia's stock plummeted nearly 18%. This contributed to a broader tech sell-off that erased approximately almost $1 trillion in market value. To better understand DeepSeek R1's impact, let's compare it with OpenAI's O1 model across several key aspects. Number one, we'll talk about model architecture and parameter activation. So with DeepSeek R1, its architecture employs a mixture of experts design, or MOE. You can imagine this as a model of a large team of specialists, and each expert is trained to handle specific types of tasks. When a question or task arises, the model doesn't consult the entire team. Instead, it selects a few relevant experts to respond. Now let's talk about parameter activation. In technical terms, DeepSeek R1 has a total of 671 billion parameters. You can think of parameters as the model's knowledge units. However, for any given task, only about 37 billion of these are active. This selective activation allows the model to be efficient, utilizing only the necessary resources for each task. OpenAI O1, on the other hand, uses a dense architecture. You can think of this one as a generalist team where every member contributes to every task, regardless of its nature. And parameter activation with O1, all of its parameters are active for each task. While this means the model brings all its knowledge to bear on every problem, it also results in higher computational demands since the entire network is engaged every time. Now let's talk about training methodologies. The learning approach with DeepSeek R1 is it utilizes large-scale reinforcement learning during post-training. In this approach, the model interacts with an environment and learns by receiving feedback in the form of rewards or penalties based on its actions. Over time, the model adjusts its behavior to maximize cumulative rewards, enabling it to develop complex reasoning strategies and improve performance without extensive labeled data. O1 from OpenAI, on the other hand, is trained using supervised training, where the model is provided with labeled datasets containing input-output pairs. The model learns to map inputs to the correct outputs by minimizing the difference between its predictions and the actual labels. This method relies on large amounts of labeled data and is effective for tasks where such data is available. And now let's talk a little bit about chain of thought reasoning, where it applies to both models. With DeepSeek R1, it employs chain of thought reasoning by directly applying reinforcement learning to its base model, and it doesn't rely on supervised fine-tuning. This method allows the model to explore various reasoning paths, develop self-verification and reflection abilities, and generate detailed reasoning responses. The model's reasoning steps are often enclosed within special tokens, making them visible to users and when you use it, and it enhances transparency. OpenAI O1, on the other hand, incorporates chain of thought reasoning, utilizing large-scale reinforcement learning to perform complex reasoning before responding. This approach allows the model to refine its generation process, recognize mistakes, and improve its ability to provide accurate and appropriate content. And unlike DeepSeek R1, O1's internal reasoning steps are not typically displayed to users, so you don't see it when you're using it. And this maintains a level of opacity in its decision-making process. Now let's talk about performance and efficiency. So when it comes to reasoning and mathematics, DeepSeek R1 demonstrates strong performance in mathematical reasoning tasks, with a score of 79.8% on the American Invitational Mathematics Examination. And that's a benchmark. OpenAI O1, on the other hand, performs comparably, scoring 79.2% on the same benchmark, so not really a huge difference. When it comes to coding, R1 exhibits competitive coding capabilities, scoring 96.3% on the Codeforces benchmark. O1, on the other hand, slightly surpasses with a score of 96.6% on the same benchmark. But again, nothing here will be too noticeable to you. And when it comes to cost efficiency is where the big differences come in. So R1 was developed with an investment of less than $6 million, achieved through innovative training techniques and optimized resource utilization. O1, on the other hand, exact development costs are proprietary, but estimates suggest that training models like GPT-4 could have exceeded $100 million. When it comes to accessibility and open source nature, DeepSeek R1 is fully open source, allowing developers and researchers worldwide to access, modify, and build upon the model. O1 is not open source, and access is provided through APIs, which may involve usage fees and certain restrictions, especially if you're using it a lot. Some ethical considerations here, which can depend on the user, and it doesn't really matter too much for performance, but it's been revealed that R1 exhibits strict censorship on sensitive topics, likely due to regulatory requirements in China. Additionally, concerns have been raised about data privacy, as user data is stored on servers within China. O1 also does implement content moderation to prevent the generation of harmful or sensitive content, adhering to its ethical guidelines. And it does operate under data privacy regulations applicable in the regions it serves, with data storage and handling practices designed to protect user information. But overall, to conclude, R1 represents a significant advancement in AI development, offering a powerful, efficient, and accessible tool for various applications. Its innovative architecture and training methodologies provide a cost-effective alternative to models like OpenAI's O1. However, considerations regarding censorship and data privacy are very important factors for some users and enterprises to evaluate. If you enjoyed that video and want to learn more about AI, make sure you subscribe to our channel, like the video, and leave a comment below if you want to share your thoughts.